Hi everyone, welcome. Thank you all for joining today's session, Coping with the Holidays. It is part 3 in our December Dementia Series with our guest speaker, Ruth Dennis. She's the Director of Social Services and Education at Vista Living Care in Santa Fe. So thank you all for coming. We ask that during the session, you keep yourself on mute. It kind of helps limit the background noise for the recording. And helps keep it a little bit more clear for when it's recording. We also ask that either you change your name on your screen so it reads at least your first name, or add it to the chat. Valerie, Sosi, and I are going to be taking attendance so that we can make sure everyone gets credit for being here and gets noted so that they get their certificates at the end of the 4 sessions. Valerie, you want to say a quick hi?
Sure. Hi guys. Yeah, and the ones that were a little bit early and on time, we appreciate that. And if you don't have your name on there, Karen, I see you guys. Mom there and Dad, nice to see you. Ella, I'm glad you guys made it. So we're taking attendance, making sure that you guys made it. I got you, La Quinta. Thank you guys. Have a great class.
In my pocket.
Great, thank you everyone. Additionally, this session has live transcription for anyone that's interested in it. You can, if you don't already see the live transcription, the more button, which is 3 dots and a more, at the bottom of your screen will give you an option. It should say show subtitles. If you are seeing it and you're not interested in seeing it, you can also follow those same instructions to turn them off, but they're there for anyone who may need them. If anyone has questions during today's session, please drop them in the chat. Ruth will be doing a Q&A at the end of her talk. So you're welcome to put them in the chat. That way you can keep them in mind so in case you don't want to forget them. So before I pass the program on to our guest speaker, I want to give just a quick background on us and the New Mexico Caregivers Coalition. So the New Mexico Caregivers Coalition was created in 2009 to enhance and promote family caregivers and paid professional care workers, supporting their professional development and advancing issues of importance to the field of long-term and direct care. We seek to empower caregivers to deliver competent, compassionate, person-centered care by offering training and education to caregivers in a variety of topics, including this one, which is offered by our guest speaker. And we also offer additional guest presentations from experts in their field to bring additional information to you and your family members. We also have a newsletter, an online email newsletter that announces online upcoming trainings and classes. That's a great way to get information about what we're having and what's coming up next. It also includes other resources from some of our partner organizations that could help connect you to other organizations as well. Yeah. And then we also usually include any other resources or other programming that we may be offering to caregivers across the state of New Mexico. I'll put the newsletter sign up link in the chat for anyone who might be interested. We're going to be announcing soon at the beginning of January and February schedule. So that'd be a great way for you to get notice on all of those upcoming classes. I just realized I forgot to introduce myself. I got so excited about talking about everyone else in the programming. I'm Dana Howarth. I'm the Deputy Director of the New Mexico Caregivers Coalition. I also have here helping me today, Adrienne Smith, our President and CEO.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So during today's presentation, myself, Adrienne, and Valerie are kind of monitoring the chat, and we'll be there checking for everything. And then now I want to pass it on to Ruth Dennis. Again, she's the Director of Social Services and Education at Vista Living Care in Santa Fe. Take it away, Ruth.
Hi there, guys. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Dana, I want you to show them your shirt, by the way, before we get started, just because folks need
Ruth likes my Christmas sweater. It's Baby Yoda.
and I'm Ruth Dennis from Vista Living Care. I do education, social services, and creativity. So I have kind of the best job on the planet. It's a good deal. But what we're going to talk about is the holidays, and specifically coping and holiday stress. Before we get started, I want you to think about this time of year and what you're all dealing with, and anything that makes you want to be the Grinch, anything that makes you kind of bugs. And I want you to take a couple deep breaths. And what we're going to do is we're going to take it like 3 deep breaths. And on the 3rd deep breath, I want you to just let out a yelp or a sigh. And shake it out. And stretch it out. Okay, deep breath. Because we are going to talk about stress in the holidays in life. One of the things that happens during the holidays, and it happens to both the people you're caring for and to you, is what's called overload, sensory stimulation. There's music, there's decorating, there's food, there's people in and out, there's changes, there's all this stuff around, every other Christmas song, and it can get to be overload. So part of dealing with not just aging and dementia, but dealing with being a caregiver in general is, how do you manage overload? What are ways that you can deal with overload, with being too tired? When I was asked a while back to define what it felt like to be overstimulated and have Alzheimer's. And I would say now overstimulated and be a caregiver as well. And there were 3 things that I came up with. One was a migraine headache. Lights are too bright, but the sounds are too loud, and there's too much movement, and it hurts. The other was a hangover. Everything feels queasy, everything is spinning, and you're tired. And the 3rd one for me was coming out of chemotherapy on the last day. And that was a combination of all of the above. Lights were too bright, everything was too loud. I was tired and my head was spinning. That's how it feels to be overstimulated, where so much is coming at you that you can't process. A lot of coping with the holidays is, how do you turn that down? How do you slow it down? I'm going to give you 2 statistical facts. One is your brain uses 25% of your energy on a normal day when things are going good and everything is okay, and you don't have 5 relatives calling you 10 times a day, or you don't have to do this or do that or the other. And money's perfect and life is good. How many of those days really exist? When you're stressed and there's a lot of commotion and a lot to do, your brain uses 50% of your calories. 50% of your energy goes to keeping your brain going. That's a lot. That is a lot of energy. That's a lot of time for you and the person you're caring for. If someone's tired and needs to just relax and watch a movie or take a nap, or you need to say no and not do things, do it. Because remember, your brain is using 50% of your energy right now just to function, just to keep going. That's a big chunk of who you are and what you can do. One of processing slows. It slows with dementia, but it also slows with stress. A lot of what the people we're caring for go through, we go through because of stress, because we're responsible for being part of somebody else's body and brain. don't underestimate what you're doing and how important it is and how much work it is. And there's a lot to process for the holidays. I'm going to get you guys to raise your hands about this. I'm going to ask. Raise your hands if any of you have ever experienced a major loss during the holidays or grief during the holidays.
I do.
Anybody? Anyone ever feel regret or loneliness in the holidays? Raise the other. Really, really common piece of common and maybe the untalked about part of Christmas and any major holiday, Thanksgiving as well, Valentine's Day, is the sense of grief and loneliness, the sense that I remember the people who aren't here, or I remember what mom was like 20 years ago when she was making tamales and biscochitos and running the house and being the matriarch. Or I remember my husband knowing exactly who I was and dancing with me for New Year's Eve. That is grief, that is loss. And all the beautiful lights and holiday music and movies can be a reminder that for you, not everything is like that. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle to yourself. This is a hard one. Take space if you don't need to or want to celebrate with everybody. We're going to do something for a second, and I want you to kind of unmute on this one. Because we're going to talk about simplifying. But a big part of simplifying is learning to say no. Learning that no is okay and it can be a good thing. So I want us all together to say, and we're going to do this 2 or 3, I'm going to do a call and I want you to follow me. It is okay for me to say no.
It is okay.
It is okay for me
Okay to say no.
It is okay for me
Okay
to
to say
say no.
To say no.
okay for me to say no. You want me to say it again?
One more time. You want to take this one?
It is
Navajo,
okay.
Valerie?
Say no.
It is
Okay for me to say no.
for me
It's
to say no.
okay for me to say no.
Good. Round of applause. It's okay to say no. It's okay.
No.
It's okay to decline a visit. It's okay to not make that extra dish. It is okay to not decorate the whole house. It is okay to not dress up. If you want to spend Christmas Day eating pizza and watching movies, it is okay.
Amen. Yes.
If you do feel like the Grinch and there are days when you want to go yell and cuss, it is okay. I think one of the things that we get programmed for as caregivers, and you know, and a lot of us like really internalize this, is you've got to take care of everybody. You've got to give everybody everything. And that's not true. None of us can do it. There's no person in here that's Superman. There's no person in here that has the Harry Potter magic wand and can change things. You know, you have to say no. It's a good thing to say no. No is a positive word. The other piece is to delegate. I need help with this. I can't do all this. And I'm going to reach out. That can be hard to find, which brings into simplify, make it easy. Don't take on 5 million things. It's okay if a present comes in a bag and is not wrapped. It's okay to not clean the house right away. You know, I think there is a really, really big piece to all this. The other is having realistic expectations for yourself, but also for the people around you. One of the things I hear, and I've heard this over and over and over again, and I know some of you guys have gone through this, is I have, you know, 3 or 4 brothers and sisters and nobody's helping me. You know, everybody wants to show up for Christmas or, you know, the birthday or Valentine's Day, but nobody wants to show up on Monday night in the middle of the night when I need help with laundry. Or everybody wants to tell me what I'm doing wrong and not help. That's what I call the peanut gallery. Which kind of means you're the person in charge and you're the person who's doing the work and you're the person that matters. Don't let the peanut gallery get to you. Don't feel alone in a crowd. Sometimes family is not going to help, and that may not be anything that you can change. If you can change it, be very specific about what you need. I need you to go get groceries on Friday. Thank you. I need the car taken to get oil changed. And if they can't deal with that, then don't worry about them. And don't feel guilty because you have to give them, you need space. Give yourself the credit for the work you're doing. The other is, you know, part of aging, part of dementia is it's hard to figure out new things and new situations. And the 5 or 10 grandkids are beautiful and wonderful, but they're very new situations and new things, and that can be hard to figure out. Be sure to pace things. If your person needs a rest, get them to take it. The day before you have a gathering, rest and lay low. The day or 2 after, rest and lay low. Think of that whole migraine, headache, hangover thing. People will have a blast at, and this year we're not able to do parties at Vista because of the COVID numbers. We'll get into that in a minute. But if you're having a family gathering and the person you're caring for is going with you, and they have Alzheimer's or any type of dementia or certain developmental disabilities or autism, that stimulation of that gathering is a lot. It's going to make them more confused, more stressed, and physically tired, even if they have a blast during it. Doesn't mean you don't do it. It means you're aware of it and you rest before and you rest after. Enjoy the moment that you have and the time that you have, but allow yourself that time later to come down from it and to recover from it. Allow the person you're caring for that time. COVID throws another loop into things. And this is one of those things where a big piece of being a caregiver. Raise your hands if you're family caregivers. Anybody? Big part of being a family caregiver is you're the protector. You're the person who's got to make sure the person you're caring for is safe. That's a huge responsibility. That also means you're the person responsible for setting boundaries. So if you've got 5 or 6 or 2 or 3 family members who are not taking this whole thing seriously and not getting vaccinated, you may want to consider limiting the contact and setting boundaries. It's not a political thing when I say it, it's a virus. You also, and that also applies to, you know, if you have family members around you that are into substances and substance abuse, your job is to protect the person you love, period. And if that means upsetting someone in your family, that's their problem, not yours. Your job is to protect. So do not guilt trip yourself if you have to say somebody can't show up. Whether it's for COVID or even if there's somebody that just stresses the person you're caring for out. Somebody that's not willing to learn how to deal with aging or autism or developmental disabilities or Alzheimer's. If they're walking up to mom and saying, oh, do you remember me? Don't you remember me? Why don't you remember me? We went to so-and-so, and your person is almost crying. Probably better to not see them during the holidays. And it's okay for you to say that. I think, you know, one of the biggest, and then professional caregivers. How many of you guys are professional caregivers? Anybody? How many of you guys are on kind of activities overload? Or you're the door police right now because of COVID? No, you can't come in. Or you work for home health and 4 people didn't show up for their shift today, so all of a sudden you're picking up 3 or 4 extra shifts. You have a right as a professional caregiver to say no to. And I think one of the pieces we were talking before we got started about wages and salaries, and I do agree that there has to be the right attitude toward care, and it has to come from love. I also really, really feel strongly that as companies and businesses, we've got to get better at taking care of people. People need better insurance. They need better pay. One of the things that mortified me after COVID is the company I work for has decided to cover counseling for caregivers. And we were the only place in town that did. We were the only place in the state that did. That breaks my heart. Mental health is just as important. If you as a professional and professional caregivers grieve, you watch somebody you're caring for and you love change, and you have to do it over and over and over again. As a professional caregiver, you're falling in love with people and losing them, and you're doing it a lot. You gotta take care of yourself. You gotta rest. Somebody put holiday in the pay in the chat, and that is true. Time off is true. And, you know, I also think communication is true. I think there are a lot of folks who are afraid to bring things up. Bring it up. The worst that can happen is they fire you. And that may be the best that can happen if it's a toxic situation. But you also have to pay the bills. I think being involved with the Caregiver Coalition, I think letting the Department of Aging and Long-Term Services and the Health Department know, hey, this is what we need, helps. Imelda, can I pick on you for 1 minute?
Okay, I'm all ears.
When a few years ago, my brother and Imelda's brother, Gerald, got put through an appeal to basically prove that they didn't need as many hours of care as they were getting. They gave us less than a week's notice. They told us the hours were cut in half. I won't repeat some of the words that I told them because it's not very professional, but we ended up fighting the appeal. During the appeal, I had the New Mexican, the governor's office, and my senator on speed dial, and the paper in Albuquerque. So I had 4 of them in the speed dial. If I wouldn't have won that appeal, my life would have been spent figuring out how to make Susana Martinez's life a living hell. That would have been my primary commitment. I think one of the pieces to being a caregiver, whether you're family or professional, is learning how to fight. If you ever need to learn how to fight, Imelda is really good at fighting. Call her. I am really pretty good at fighting. And it comes into coping with the holidays in a lot of ways. Because all the talk about giving and kindness and love during the holidays is true. But also fighting and boundaries are true. And by fighting, I don't mean drama and obsession, but really saying, this is what I need from myself and the person that I'm caring for. This is important. If you feel guilty and want to give me a gift, I will take it. Hire somebody to clean my house this week. You know, don't be afraid to say, this is what I need. That is a big, big piece of coping, period, with the holidays, but with life in general. This year is a challenge. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be difficult. It's also going to mean simplifying. You know, we haven't done big holiday parties at work for 2 years. I took gift baskets to the hospital, said, hello, I'm your cheerleader. Goodbye. Thank you. I think the thank you piece is really, really important. If you know somebody who is stressed out and is doing a really good job, but they're really tired, say thank you. It'll make you feel better. It'll make them feel better. It also gives them a reason to keep going. I think one of the big pieces this year is we're all tired. How many folks are sick of Zoom? Raise your hands, and I won't be offended. How many folks are really, really frustrated by not knowing what to do when you meet somebody? Do I hug them? Do I shake their hand? Do I stay 6 feet away? Anybody feel particularly lonely this holiday? Anybody feel kind of confused about what to do and not to do? That's all of us. That's part of the game. It's part of how complicated things are. The other is, I think, that the people that we care for and also ourselves change. How many of us in this room are getting younger and stronger every day? Okay, Valerie, you lie. You may be getting stronger, but I don't think any of us is getting younger. How many of us can do what we did when we were 25 right now? It's okay to have things be different. It's okay to have things be slower. It's okay to ask for what you need. It's okay to say no. So someone put a comment about the medical system being frustrating on Zoom. It is. It's hard. And it's hard to get what you need. It's also, you know, I've spent 2 years talking to hospital social workers and nurses. They're exhausted too. They're pretty damn fried. And it's a tough, tough balance. I think this holiday, also, I want you to take a minute. We're going to breathe a little bit. And I want you to think about, and then we can go around and answer this question. Think of 1 or 2 things that are good, that give you hope. And I want you to sit up straight. Hand on your heart. Trace your heartbeat. Just feel your heartbeat. Feel your feet on the ground. Pay attention to them. I want you to take a couple slow, deep breaths. And I want you to think about one or two things that are a real blessing right now, that give you hope, that give you light. And anyone who's brave enough, raise their hand, and I'll get Dana to unmute you and tell us in one or two words. We've got Jacqueline saying my well-being and my family's well-being. And that's a good one. It's beautiful. Anybody else? My faith in Gerald. That's beautiful. I think the honor. Say that again. My kids and my job. Health and family. Anybody else? What's good? What gives you hope?
My caregivers, they have the biggest heart ever.
That's true. That's true. I think for me, the people that I'm surrounded by, I am incredibly blessed to be surrounded by people who are trying really, really hard to do the right thing. You guys included. Did you guys notice how none of you said Christmas presents or money? What matters is the people around you and the love that you've got. Pick the people and stay with the people who share that love and that happiness. Karen, you guys are beautiful, by the way. You guys are so cool. Let the folks that are the peanut gallery, let it go. That doesn't matter. What matters is the people that you really connect to and the people that are there. Be there for the people who are there. Fine, and holiday tradition doesn't have to be fancy or huge or hard or difficult. It can be really, really simple. You know, eating a plate of cookies and listening to a song, lighting a candle, saying a prayer. That's the part that matters. It's not the big stuff. The other is, and I'm going to give you the general health thing, which I'm being a hypocrite, so we're going to do the, stay aware of your body, rest when you need to rest, move when you need to move. No is a good word. It's okay. And also kind of be aware to just drink enough water, get enough sleep, and eat. Eat stuff that you love that is fun, but also eat stuff that takes care of your body. Chicken soup is okay for Christmas dinner too. Just find ways to make life better. As professional caregivers and family caregivers, I'm really, really proud of all of you. I'm proud of the work that you do. I think the work that you do is a light in this world. In your self-care kit, you've got a candle. I'm going to give you guys homework, which is a couple times a week. I want you to light that candle and take a few minutes to look at it. You can say a prayer, you can sing a song, you can just kind of clear your mind. But remember when you light that candle that you guys are part of the light of this world. You guys are part of the people who make things better. And I know there are people out there who are working in situations that it's really, really hard to feel like you make things better, but you do, and you are, and you make, and you have value. And so when you light that candle, think about the light that you're sharing and you're giving, and focus on that for a little bit, even if it's just a few minutes. You have the journal and the sketch pad, and I'm going to give you homework for next week because we're going to share it a little bit next week. I want you to take, and I'll do an example of it. You're going to write the letters of your first name vertically. No, you can't see that. I should get a Sharpie. So write them down a line. And what I want you to do for each letter is come up with an affirmation or a commitment, something that you want to add to your life, something that you want to commit to that is good for your health as a person, physically, emotionally, spiritually, but also a commitment to what you need to do. And next week, we're going to share them. And for the people like Jeannie and Ariana and Ernestine, who have much longer names, you have more work to do. I have a real simple name. But think of ways, and you're going to use this and keep it as a reminder of how valuable you are and what you need to do. And so we'll share these next week. You guys have homework. I know, terrible of me to give homework on Christmas week. I'm sorry, but it's good. But it's a good thing. I also, one of the things, and we're going to say this one as a group as well. And I do want us to kind of say all this together is what I do matters. And so we're going to do this in call and response, and we can unmute. But I want you to say, what I do matters.
What
I
I
do
do matters.
Matters.
What I do matters.
What
What I do matters.
I do
do
matters.
matters.
And
What
one
I-
more time, what I
What-
do
What
matters.
What I do matters.
I do matters.
What I do matters.
Very good. Don't ever forget that. It's really, really easy to forget that when the don't ever forget that. We'll make sure you keep that as part of what you do, as part of who you are.
I do.
Because what caregiving is it's providing life and love for another person. And there's nothing in this world that's more important. There's nothing in this world that matters more than that. And I, thank you guys very, very, very much. And this is going to be kind of a short lecture. So, but I want you to really sink into your head that you set the rules and the boundaries. And It's okay to make things simple. It's okay to not do everything for everybody all the time. It's okay to say no. It's okay to drink hot cocoa and cookies and eat ham sandwiches. It's okay to have pizza for Christmas dinner. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to get someone from, aging and long-term services of the state and give them holy hell. That's part of your jobs. And it is okay. The other piece too with learning how to fight is learn the rules, read the regs, find out what's going on, find out what the expectations are. The same if you work for an assisted living or a nursing home or a home health agency. Know their policies, know their rules, know what they're about. If they're not talking to you or telling you what's going on, there are a lot of other places out there that are hiring. And some of them are very good to work for. Ask a lot of questions. This applies to the holidays, but everything else. Ask questions, make demands. And part of the demands is not just for the person you're caring for, but for yourself. We're gonna end with the one we said last week. I can't give what I ain't got. Okay? 1, 2, 3. I can't give what I ain't got.
What I ain't got.
Any, I can't do
Can I
what I
give
got.
Good. So how are you guys going to take care of yourself for this holiday week? What are you going to do that makes your life more simple and better? And guys, I'm done. So if you have questions, ask. Or if you just want to make a comment.
Ruth, I wanted to comment about Sisters in the Fight, you and I. And I remember preparing my hearing notes to go before the judge. And it was fabulous because, the judge even called me that evening to commend me. And I had gone to Disability Rights New Mexico to also get their support. But their attorney there called me and said, can I borrow your notes? Because we have someone else that is going to do their own hearing. And I said, surely. And I would like to coach them because you know what? You got to be a voice, but you've got to get your documents in order, and you have to make sure that you are, you study as far as your rights and you present. But the joke that Ruth and I had last night, that our pictures are hanging on the wall at Human Services, and they'd say, if any of these two women call, you better answer the phone and you better talk to them.
Because they will make your life miserable if you don't. I think one of the other things, and an attorney, a friend of mine told me this, don't give up and keep feeding the beast paper. So you just keep trying. You just keep going. When I went through my hearing, the best line in the whole 2.5 hour hearing was one of Morgan's caregivers was all of 18 years old at the time. And she was the daughter of his other caregiver. And something got said about the professional assessment, and that a social worker, these two corporate looking lawyers said this, had determined that he only needed 15 minutes to take a bath. The 18-year-old caregiver sat up in her chair and she said, well, that is just stupid. And then she proceeded to explain that he had his cup of tea in the bath and that it took him 2 hours, and that she was not going to make his life miserable by trying to make him take a bath in 15 minutes. And that it was incredibly stupid for anyone to say that, including 2 corporate lawyers and a master's level social worker. I was so proud of her. And the judge looked like he was going to pass out, and we won our appeal. But you guys know what's best for the person you're caring for. You know what they need. And you know more about that than any doctor, lawyer, social worker, nurse that will ever live. And give yourselves credit for that one. You know what you need. So thank you guys. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've got a
Thank
hand
you.
raised.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
guys, Merry, try to have a beautiful Christmas, however you celebrate your holiday. In whatever way you do it, and whatever way makes you happy and more comfortable. Just have a good time. So. And I'm gonna teach you 2 sign. One is I love you.
Love you. I love you. Mhm.
The other is live long and prosper.
Live long and prosperous, Mom. Then you put thank you. Thank you. No, so sign it, Mom. Thank you.
So
That is not-
live long and prosper is actually from Star
Thank
Trek. It's the Morgan thing. And bless you guys. Hang in there, guys. You're doing really, really good work, and it can be really tough work. So take care of yourselves. There's also a really wonderful handout that a friend of mine put together that Dana sent out to you guys. Really make sure you keep that around and read over it, because it's a good little reminder to saying no is okay, simplifying things is okay, and taking time for yourself is okay. Because you guys cannot give what you ain't got. You got to feed the well. You got to feed the soul. And I think, guys, we're going to wrap up and give you guys like 10 minutes more of your day to feed your soul. Round of applause for yourself.
Yes, thank
all
you,
for what
Ruth,
you do.
for another great presentation. And thank you all for joining us.
And our next presentation, we will go over your name, poems, and your commitment, and I'll explain that more. But the next presentation, we're just going to do exercises on self-care. So we'll be doing some different things. Valerie, I'll give the tech piece to you, so because it could be a pain.
Yes.
Thank you,
So
guys.
thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm putting the link in the chat for anyone who hasn't had a chance to register for next week's mindfulness and self-care class. Also, I can send it out also. That's easier. Thank you all for coming. I hope everyone has a happy and safe holiday. Just a reminder that certificates for this program get sent out at the end. So after next Tuesday's presentation, within the following week, I'll be getting all the certificates out for everyone so that you get them in a group.
And,
Thank you all.
we are trying to set up one in March, another series of talks in March. Focus will actually be on love and money and how to fight and how to find networks of help and support. So I actually might make my boss speak, so that'll be fun. It's always fun to tell him what to do.
All right, everyone, thank you so much. We'll
Thank
give you back
you.
a few extra minutes of your day. So thank you all for joining. And like I said, happy holidays. And I hope everyone has a safe holiday.
Happy holidays,
Thank you
guys.
guys. Have a good holiday.
Happy holidays.
Get
Happy
some
holidays,
rest.
everybody.
Happy holiday.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Bless you guys.
All be safe. God bless. Bye.
Bye.
Happy holidays.